Hello, my amazing students. This is Mrs. A, and I love math. And today we're working on lesson 104 in edition 2 of your Saxon Blue Book, or maybe you have edition 3, it's lesson 103 in edition 3. And it's all about the distributive property and estimating higher order roots. So we're going to start with the distributive property, which we're going to see works every time. So we're going to take an example. 4 times the quantity 2 plus 3. And over here we have the same thing, 4 times 2 plus 3. But we're going to do this problem in 2 different ways. So over here on the left, we're just going to add and simplify this parenthesis here. We're using our order of operations, right? We do our parenthesis first, and we get 5, and 4 times 5 is 20. Over here, we're going to use the distributive property, which simply says that when I multiply by a parenthesis, I take the quantity in front of the parenthesis and I multiply it by the first thing in the parenthesis, 4 times 2, and then I multiply by the second thing in the parenthesis, 4 times 3, and then I apply the sign, which is addition. So 8 plus 12 is 20. And notice I got a 20 on both sides, which shows us that the distributive property works. Now, the distributive property is especially helpful when I have a problem like this. You see 4 times x plus y. I can't add x and y together because they are not like terms. And so since I can't add them together, the only way that I can do this one is using the distributive property. 4 times x plus 4 times y. I don't have any other option with a problem that cannot be added together inside the parenthesis. So that's usually what's going to happen when we use this distributive property. If we are able to add them together inside the parenthesis, it's usually faster to just do that. But if we can't, then we can use the distributive property. Okay, so here we have example 1 and example 2, and here we have 4, and notice that we really can't simplify anything that's in there because we don't have any like terms, so we're just going to go ahead and distribute. So 4 times x is 4x plus 4 times 2y. 4 times 2 is 8, so that's going to be an 8y. And then minus 8 times 4 is minus 32. And there is my answer. Okay, so here we have another example down here. And an x squared does not add to a negative 2, does not add to a 2x. So these are 3 unlike terms. So we're going to just distribute. And we're going to get 3 times x squared is 3 times x cubed. And 3x times a negative 2, 3 times a negative 2 is a negative 6, but then we have the x. 3x times 2x, notice that the sign just comes down. 3x times 2x is 6x squared. Now, the reason that looks a little funny is that we usually put things in descending order of the variable. In other words, we would usually write 3x cubed plus 6x squared minus 6x. But I just noticed that in your Saxon book, they leave it in the wrong order. So either one is acceptable. Okay? So now we're going to work on the second part of the lesson, which is higher order roots. Okay, so estimating higher order roots, we're to find the cubic root of 250, which means that we're looking for something times itself 3 times is going to equal 250. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is make a guess. Now we know that 3 cubed is 27, and 4 cubed is going to be 64. Those are both too low. 5 cubed is 125, which is still too low. Okay, 6 cubed is 6 times 6, which is 36, times 6 again, which is going to be 216. So 6 cubed is 216. Now 216 is getting a lot closer to 250. So we're going to try 7 cubed. So 7 cubed, 7 times 7 is 49, and 49 times 7 again would be 7 times 9 is 63. 4 times 7 is 28, 20. So that's going to be 34. 343. 343 is too big. So we know it's somewhere between 6 and 7. So what we're going to do is say which one is closer. So 6 cubed is 216. 216 from 250 is going to be 34. A distance of 34 steps. But 250 from 343 is like 93 steps. So that's not as close as this one. So we're going to say approximately 6. Okay, now we could get closer. We could try 6.5, and we could multiply 6.5 times 6.5 times 6.5, which would not be hard if we had a calculator. But right now we're not trying to get that close. We're just giving a good estimate. Okay, so 6 is going to be our estimate. Okay, so on this lesson here, we've got the fourth root, this example, the fourth root of 390. So just looking over here, I had already done some of the multiples. So 3 to the 4th power is 81. 4 to the 4th power is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. That's 256. Still too low. 5 times 4, 5 to the 4th, excuse me, is 625. Look how fast our fourths increased. 4 to the 4th was too low. 5 to the 4th is way too high. So then again, we're going to look at which one is closer. Is 256 closer to 390, or is 625 closer to 390? So 256 is closer, isn't it? It's 130 something off, and then this one is more than that. So we're going to say approximately 4. Remember to use your little approximately signs, because it's not equal to 4, is it? All right, it is time for us to practice. So I want you to copy these 2 distribution problems. Notice that we cannot do what's inside the parenthesis on either one of these problems. Copy them down and then do your very best, and then come back and check your answer. Pause your video. All right, so on this one, since they cannot be simplified at all, we're just going to distribute and distribute. 4 times 3 is 12. X squared plus 4 times 2 is 8x, and we're done with that one. Down here, 3x times 2, since these cannot be simplified, 3x times 2 is 6x plus 3x times x squared is 3x cubed. We just did 2 problems really fast. Okay, so this is problem C for you to practice, and this is problem D for you to practice. So I want you to copy both of those down and then pause your video. All right, so we look and we say, no, I can't simplify anything in here. None of these are like terms, are they? So I'm just going to distribute all the way across. X times a negative x squared is a negative x cubed. X times a negative x is a negative x squared. X times a negative 4 is a negative 4x. And we're done. And then down here, we have the fourth root of 750. So I went ahead and wrote down a bunch of fourth roots, fourth powers. 3 to the fourth is 81, 4 to the fourth is 256, and all we have to do to figure that out is 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. Okay, and then 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625, which is still lower than our 750. And then 6 to the fourth is 1,296, which is above our number that we're looking for. So our number is somewhere between 5 and 6. So we're just going to go, which one is closer? 625 to 750 is 125 points. And then 750 to 1,296 is way bigger. So we're going to go with this one. And so we're going to say approximately 5. We have one more problem and then we'll be done. Here's our last problem on this lesson. The fifth root. This is the first fifth root we've had. The fifth root of 200. So now I'm raising things to the fifth power to see what matches. 2 to the fifth is 32. 3 to the fifth is 243. So 32 is too low, but 243 is too high. Which one is going to be closer? Definitely the 243 is closer than, because it's only 43 off, whereas this one is 100 and something off. So we're going to go with approximately 3. And we have finished Lesson 104 or 103, depending on which book we're using. And this is Mrs. A, and may God bless your day.